Right, and it looks like we are back live. Apologies for that. I had a couple of network issues, but we are back and live, and the teams are coming onto the field. So before that gets started, before we get kickoff, let's have a look at the two sides. And I think that the Lions obviously probably the better of the two sides if you look at them. But look, it's going to be an interesting game, I think, and I think that if you look at, for example, the away side here, the Lions, it's a side that can definitely get at the Bulls side, who are missing pretty much their entire starting back line, which could be a very big thing for them because, I mean, it's a Lions backline with a lot of confidence. So if you're looking at this, Tian Swanepoel coming off 22 points scored last weekend. Stian Pienaar, Burger Odendaal is the change in place of Wandisile Similani. Dan Creel started inside center. Cornel Skosan, Elton Yankees, Andre Warner. That's all very standard, as is the loose trio, except Marnus Schoeman has come in. He partners Len Massane, Vince Chatuka, Marvin Oy, Willem Alberts. And then Yanni Duplessis is back in the side to partner Jakob Asake and Dylan Smith. Dylan Smith I've been very impressed with since he's come back in place of Steve Satoli, who is currently injured on the bench. The relatively settled bench in terms of the forwards: Jan Henning Kamfer, Ruan Dreyer, Carlos Sadi, Reynard Northnagel, Willem van der Sluis, Ross Cronje comes into the side. I want to see the Similani drops to the bench. And no Will Smith. We do have Frankie Horn, a very talented youngster on the bench for the Lions, which will be interesting and see. Hopefully he gets a decent run out as well. In terms of the Bulls, we'll get there in just a second. Just making sure we're waiting for kickoff, and then we'll get into the Bulls side so we can make sure our clock is correct. Right, we're ready. And the clock is on. So we have kickoff as Elton Yankees gets the game underway. Lions playing right to left. And without any further ado, let's have a look at the Bulls side. A very different Bulls side to the one that usually plays. And I think a big opportunity for a couple of players to put their hands up. But as I said, for the Lions, considering that they're fighting for second place, if they can get a win here, a big opportunity. So if you look at the back line, David Creel starts. That's very standard. But then Jade Stickling, Marnus Porkita, JC Null, Trevino Jacobs, Chris Smith, Ambrose Pierce, so not the Mornay Stanley Van Van Zel combination, Dwayne Vermeulen, Ulrich Lowe, Malcolm Verstaden, so still a powerhouse loose trio. Ruan Nokia and Jan Eitz are the locks. Trevor Nyakane, Skulk Erasmus, and someone who I'm very excited to see back in action is Lizot Goboka, who makes his first start or appearance of the competition itself, actually. And then on the bench, we've got Johan Krabbelaar, Jacques van Rooyen, Marcel van der Merwe. And there's an early penalty for the Lions, and that's for holding on from the looks of it. And then Janko Swanepoel, Arno Boerta, Tim Agaba, Ivan van Zyl, and Mornay Steyn. So plenty of experience on the bench for the Bulls. But as I said, as a Lions supporter, I do look at that and think we've got to chase this backline. It's a backline that is not used to playing together, that hasn't had much game time at all this competition. And therefore, we really need to try and target that area. In terms of early score predictions, I'm going to go with Lions by 10. I'm pretty sure that's what I said in my preview. As Tian Swanepoel is going to have a lineup at this penalty here. So let me know what your score predictions are down in the chat. Let me know who you're watching, who you're backing here. Should be a crack of a game regardless. The Jukskei Derby always provides a lot of action and a lot of drama often. So it should be a really interesting game to watch itself. Looks good, and it is good. So first points on the board for the Lions. A very nice kick. And I'll tell you what, Tian Swanepoel's added a whole new dimension to the Lions side, because having a left foot, right footed combination for goal kicking is I mean, it's such a bonus, and it's such an advantage for the Lions, and something that they really are enjoying at the moment. And I think the value of a goal kicker cannot be understated. We saw how, for example, the Pumas struggled a couple of weeks ago when Ginter Smuts didn't play. And they didn't have a recognized goal kicker, and Devin Williams had to kick for goals, which is not his speciality. How much they struggled, and how much it makes a difference to have a really solid goal kicker. So for the Lions to have two makes a huge difference. Bulls all the way. Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I've got to back my Lions here. hopefully try and win the group stage off with a win. But yeah, should be a game. So then Alton Yankees finds touch. Right, first touch there for the Bulls. It's not a great one as a knocker on immediately. So we will have our first set piece, which should be very exciting. Should be a very interesting scrum battle, actually. Yanni du Plessis coming back into the side for the Lions, which will be a big boost for them. And yeah, he will be up against Lizo Gqoboka, who hasn't had a game in many months. But I very highly rate it, and I always thought Lizo Gqoboka was somebody at the Lions probably should have brought to the Union. But Steve Tolly has stepped up recently. Dylan Smith now playing very nicely. But here we go for the first scrum of the game. As you would expect, the Bulls do have the heavier scrum. But as we've seen, when you've got a good scrummager, weight is not everything. Apologies for the couple of technical glitches. It is raining at the moment. I think the internet speed is struggling a little bit, but we seem to have sorted it out, so hopefully it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. So let me know where you're watching, who you're backing down in the comments. Let me know where you are. Midweek Currie Cup action, which is not the norm, but we'll take it, especially with games being cancelled left, right, and centre. Rather have a midweek game than no game at all, like the Western Province Sharks game, which has been cancelled for this weekend, which is very frustrating. It should have been a very nice game and a very close game. But, at least it isn't going to sort of determine semi-final, or in terms of who's going to be in the semi-final. It has had a big impact, though, however, on the on where the semi-finals will be, because the Lions win here could give them a home semi-final. And just for a change, we've got a couple of resets. So we've got Lizo Gqoboka on Yanni du Plessis, Dylan Smith on Trevor Nyakane. Let's see if we can finally get a decent hit and get a bit. I mean, the pitch is churning up there, but probably a bit wet underfoot. So it's a great contest. It looked like it was Bulls early on, but then the Lions started coming through, and Andre Warner has put that ball into touch within the 22. So a great piece of great read there from the Lions scrum. But that's an interesting first battle for the scrum. I think it's going to be quite an even battle. Oh, this chair is a nightmare. It's going to be quite an even battle throughout the game, actually. I'm interested to see how that all sort of pans out. Now, the Lions lineup wasn't the best last weekend. The Bulls lineup has been pretty solid all competitions. So, in terms of set pieces, the scrums look like it's still a bit of a muchness at the moment. But the lineouts, you would imagine the Bulls would have the upper hand there. And the Bulls do win that fairly comfortable first up. And it's a decent kick. So, decent start there from Chris Smith, who's in for Monestain. And to be fair, I think that when he did get his chance, I think it was against the Western Province, played a very nice game and sort of demonstrated a lot of the depth that the Bulls, in fact, do have at the moment in the Union. Now the Lions chance for their first line out. And they go short and they win it. So they're not going to try and contend with the height of the Bulls. And Yanni du Plessis being used as the ball carrier in the midfield. A lot of experience in those legs. Now some quick ball here. Virgo Undal breaks the first tackle. Still keeps going though. Lions finding some momentum within the Bulls half here. And it's a Bulls penalty. Looks like holding on there. I'm not sure who was on the ball there for the Bulls. That's Marvin Ory guilty with holding on. So it won't be in range. That's a nice boost for the Bulls defense because the Lions did look like they had a bit of momentum. So still within the first 10 minutes, do get your score predictions in the comment section. I said Lions by 10. Let me put that in ink. So put your score predictions in the comments. We'll visit them at the end. What I want to try and do, what we're trying to work towards, is try and have a bit of a giveaway for the final maybe, and try and we'll do a bit of a score prediction game. Everybody can get their scores in pre-match, and then at the end of the game, whoever's the closest, we can then try and give something away. So let me know what you think we can try and give away, and we'll see what we can do. But jump in the comments there. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the game. Bulls got a scrum here on the 22. So it's a nice position for them. I think set pieces, look, I mean, the Bulls will always have the bulk. They've got the biggest pack in the country for a reason. Yeah, have a bit of a chat about numbers in the line-out. Bulls 23, Lions 16. Well, I hope not, but I think it should be quite a close game. So that's not a bad shot in terms of the. And that's a big letter for the Lions. A screw throw there from the Bulls, which is always a waste. And there's been quite a few actually recently. And you kind of think, sort of throw back to the Malcolm Mark situation versus Bongi Manambi, where you've got somebody who's probably better in open play, but having a hooker who just finds his jumper every single time in a line-out is becoming more and more valuable, because apparently it's not that easy of a thing. And I think that's come with the sort of the change in role, whereas the hooker used to be quite big, and all they were there to do was throw the ball in the line out, provide some good defense, and that was kind of where their roles kind of ended. These days, your hookers are so much more versatile, where they're either very good ball carriers, good with their hands, very good on the ground, very good at the breakdown, often play as extra fetchers. But yeah, just being able to do your basics, being able to do your job properly. As we've got another reset from the scrum. Dylan Smith not looking very happy there. Hopefully not too many scrums, because I don't think the pitch is going to hold up, to be honest. Has been quite a bit of rain in and around the high fault. Kevin Currie down, getting some treatment. I don't know what's going on. I think he's might be getting a bit of strapping. Who's with the Lions? I'm with the Lions. All four of the Lions. We've got time off here, so let me just sort out my clock. Kevin Yukani getting some strapping on that arm of his. Long may he continues playing fit and playing very nice rugby. I've always thought Trevor Yukani has the potential to be one of the best tight heads in the world, but just can't stay fit. When he is fit, he's brilliant. Nice, always good in defense, very good come scrum time. He did lose a bit of weight, he's a bit more mobile in and around the park, which is a big boost for him. But he needs a proper run of games where he doesn't get injured. All right, let's get the time back on here. All right, here we go. Let's try and actually have a blooming scrum for once. So bored of resets. The big scrum by the Lions. And they've got an advantage, and they've got a penalty. There we go, 1-0 to the Lions. It's always going to be an interesting scrum battle. Yanni du Plessis and Dylan Smith have won that one. And yeah, it looks like on Yanni du Plessis' side. So yeah, a tough start for Lisa Kuboka. He'll come back though. He's a good scrummager. And you can see the Loftus field just tearing up underneath the feet. I think it's going to be, yeah, the less scrums the better, because this pitch is just not going to manage it. A lot of rain in the last couple of days, and it's not going to make scrummaging easy at all. Please do smash a like on the video. Let's try and see if we can get up 10 likes before the end of the first half. Please do subscribe as well if you are new. Just want to put with the boot in hand. He's going to try and find touch, hopefully somewhere in the Bulls' half. There's a Lions player down. And Swanepoel finds touch about halfway into the Bulls' half. So a nice attacking line-up opportunity for the Lions. And I think that the Lions, I mean, if I was the Lions, I would try and get into the backline as much as possible. They've got a very inexperienced backline. Let's try and target that as much as you can. throughout the game. Because I think that is a big opportunity for the Lions. Real use as the crash ball, as you would expect for somebody who's about 191 or and some. Remember, Albert will always make ground. It is the size, it comes with being the size he is. That's some good. That's a very good tackle there. Onberger and Lions still with the ball there. Lions going in the blind side here. Dion Pino comes in nicely. Interesting, interesting sort of mold of play, Dion Pino. Very different wing to what we're used to in South Africa, where it's often sort of raw pace, often quite small, but very good finishing. And instead, you've got someone who's quite short, lots of power in the legs, not necessarily the fastest around, but I tell you, he's become quite efficient at the Lions and become quite useful as a ball carrier. Always isolated. This will be a... No, that's terrible by the Bulls. Completely isolated, and there was inevitably going to be a turnover. A great piece of, I think it was Dan Currie who came in, and it was a great cleanup because the Lions looked pretty much sure to lose that ball. Bulls defense is holding up well here. Lions struggling to get into the 22. Whether they do have an advantage, which means that in this should very much be, yep, there it is, the penalty. This could become 6-0 here, I'm sure. Tian Schoolman or Alton Jantjies is right in front, so either one. Rion Nokia, the man who's been penalized. So all Lions at the moment, Bulls have had pretty much no ball. The one time they did have the ball, they knocked it on pretty, I think, about the first phase. So, yeah, at this stage, the Lions will ride their momentum, because if you can try and just keep doing this, getting into the Bulls' half, forcing a penalty, slotting it over, suddenly that scoreboard can amount very quickly. And if the Lions nail this, it's 6-0, as it looks like Alton Jantjies is... No, I take it all back. Tian Swanepoel once again. Tell you, if we did Currie Cup Fantasy, don't put Alton Jantjies in your side, because you just don't know these days if he's even going to bother taking the kicks. Tian Swanepoel's a good bet. Man's got a 60-meter kick on him. But pretty much anything centered to the right is Tian Swanepoel these days, and centered to the left is Alton Jantjies. Absolutely no issues. That's straight to the middle, and the Lions get on the board once again to establish a 6-point lead. 50 minutes here, and I said pretty much all Lions, I mean, possession stats must be about sort of 80-20 at a push. The Bulls have had next to no ball so far. All right, well, good to see we've got some Lions fans and a Bulls fan in the comments, so just hope we could get it. I'm with the Lions fans, so let's hope that we'll be celebrating at the end of the game. Much more to the play for the Lions than the Bulls today. The Bulls have got a game against, I think, the Pumas this weekend. And a win of that will seal the top of the log for them. So, I mean, in terms of the games which are easier to win, you would think that they'll prioritize the game this weekend. Lions, however, could be finished. I mean, a win today will take the Lions to 37 points. They do have a superior points difference than the Western Province, so they will go second. Whereas a bonus point win will guarantee them second regardless of bonus point. But yeah, so just a win, that's all the Lions need. A win today will put them second, which means it'll give them a home semi-final, which they really need, because a team playing at altitude, that's where that advantage comes in. You know, you can talk about no fans, stuff like that. There still is a huge advantage. It's not knocked on, but dragged out. The Bulls just can't get into this game. Managed to win the line out, was dropped by Ambrose Papier, but then very quickly went try to go down the blind side and was dragged out. So it should be a Lions line out, and yeah, as I said, all Lions so far. But in terms of the log, yeah, the Lions will have to go for the win today. And that's where the frustration has come in with having all these games cancelled and postponed with COVID-19, is the fact that we have to that all these games which would have really made a big difference on the table have been cancelled. And I mean, look, the Lions had 2 games which they would have fancied themselves winning, cancelled. Western Province versus Sharks been cancelled twice. So yeah, it hasn't been great, but at the end of the day, it's rugby, and we've got to get through the next 3 weekends, and we've got the Currie Cup wrapped up, and then next we have to worry about the Rainbow Cup is in April. So a nice chance for the players to go back and spend some time with their families before sort of getting ready for the Rainbow Cup. In the game, I want to watch this, but in UK, so can't. I placed a bet. Well, not good, not looking good either. Need 21st half points. Yeah, look, I mean, almost halfway, and just had the 6 point. I wouldn't say either side had really looked like scoring either. The Lions have looked a lot more likely to score, but more from sort of penalties at this stage. It's been quite scrappy affair so far. If you are in the UK, as far as I understand, they are showing it on Sky Sports in the UK. So create get two tabs up, start streaming on YouTube on Sky Sports, and one watch along here or the other, so we can chat all about what's going on. But look, if you've got a bet for 21st half points, then I'll back that bet. Let's try and see if we can get it. And as I said, please do smash the like. We want to try and get to 10 likes by half time, so we've got 12 minutes to get there. So pretty much a like a minute and we'll be all good. Right, so the Lions have won a penalty from the scrum here, so Bulls struggling to get into the game, and now Tian Swanepoel is going to line up a 60-meter kick. So we've seen that he's got the distance before. Dan with EP Kings are the best franchise. They might be if they ever actually, became a franchise again to begin with. But Tian Swanepoel on the angle, 60 meters. My goodness, that is a very large kick, and he has nailed that. 9-0 to the Lions. What a kick from the youngster. All smiles there, and that is a huge thing to have in your arsenal. Same as Brian Steyn. When you as a team know that you can't concede a penalty pretty much from the opposition 10-meter line onwards, that is a very big warning and a big problem, because suddenly your space where you can afford to make mistakes just gets smaller and smaller. And good to see we have more players that do have this distance, because at one stage, there were a lot of players who were sort of slotting 60-meter kicks, and then it sort of faded away a bit. And so far, it looks like good exit play from the Lions, which is one of my favorite things. I hate bad exit play. And having said that the Lions are running this, Burger Unda right on the corner there. Tian Swanepoel has to clean up. This is not looking good. This is why you kick it. I'll tell you, for somebody with high blood pressure, supporting the Lions is probably not a particularly good life decision. Always playing on the edge, never doing things the sort of standard way. So they try to run it out. Hasn't gone particularly well. Now they're lining up for the kick, thank goodness. And Tian Swanepoel back in the pocket. He should find touch, which he does. And the Bulls take it quickly, actually. Now the Bulls with a rare chance to run at the Lions. And they're going up. It looks like... No, man. Tian Swanepoel splitting the ball forward, so they'll go back for the scrum. Don't take your eye off the ball. It's not bloody hard. You had so much time there. Yeah, you see, as he's catching it, takes his eye on the ball, watching the defender. Basics, 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 basics. Always keep your eye on the ball. If you're looking for a stream and you're not in the right place, unfortunately, I can't stream it due to copyright law, so this is just the second best thing. At least we've got a live scorecard here and live timer, so you'll know exactly what's going on. Right, another scrum. The Lions have had the edge in the scrum, so this could be a big chance for them to try and sort of get out of jail. But a big bull scrum means that they could try and get an opportunity to go for goal and maybe get their first points. But so far, as I said, possession 73% with the Lions so far, so the Bulls just pretty much haven't won in the game at all. It's a fairly steady scrum. Yeah, the Lions did start coming towards the end there, but it is a penalty for standing up. So, Bulls penalty there, so this should be their first points on the board. Looks like Yanni Duplessis is the one man penalized. Okay, number 3 on the knee first, and number 1, Dylan Smith pushing in the angle apparently. So, the Bulls are going to have a shot at goal. So, it could be 9-3 here. Bit of a boring game in terms of running rugby. There haven't been much here. Both defenses have been fairly solid. Not that the Lions' defense had to do much, to be honest. I was about to say, that's a bizarre call. Yanni Duplessis has been penalized, well, partly penalized for knee on the ground, and his knee never went to the ground. I mean, knee on the ground first. His knee literally never touched the ground. So, look, I'm not sure. I mean, we didn't see it from the other angle, so it could have been Dylan Smith scrumming in. But if that's on Yanni Duplessis, then that's a terrible call. Money on Bulls. Well, Houston, I hope you're wrong, to be honest. Because, yeah, my money's on the Lions. Right, Smith here has a fairly simple chance. Shouldn't have any issues. He turns immediately. The flags go up, and the Bulls are on the board. So, 9-3 up to 12 points for the person who needed 20 points in the first half. So, 8 more points to go. To be fair, we're pretty much on track to get to about 20 points. It will all be in penalties at this rate unless something happens. Something's got to give. On 7 likes there, so please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Try to get to 10 likes before the first half. Not sure what the conditions are like, whether it is that wet there. We haven't seen exactly a particularly expansive game of rugby. The ground is giving way underfoot during the scrum, so I think it is quite wet. Whether the ball's wet or whether the grass wet itself, or whether it's just further down. But now another test for Tian Swanepoel. Keep your eyes on the ball. That's another one he's dropped, but thankfully it's backwards. And Scorsan cleans up nicely. Lions have got an advantage. I'm not entirely sure for what. Burger Undal beats the player. They get a good offload there to Lemmersane. Lots to prove for Burger Undal as usual. You know, former Bulls captain, and Drake White came in and pretty much told him, you're not part of my plan. So see, there off you go. Which he wasn't happy about at all. And that's a very poor kick from Tian Swanepoel. I'm pretty sure it's gone backwards. There was a knock-on advantage from earlier, so nothing there. And now the Bulls can try and have a go. And the Bulls have won another penalty. And Tian Swanepoel, aside from the boot, not having a particularly good day. This is going to be one-sided commentary. Well, mate, to be fair, the Lions have done everything. So it's difficult to commentate on what the Bulls are doing well when they haven't been running the game much. But they've got another penalty here, so it could be 9-6. But you saw the possession stats. It's 73% to the Lions, so not sure what much more you can say there. The Bulls' defense has been good. As I said earlier, it's been very good. I mean, defensively, neither side have really budged so far. Which is why it's been like a test match, where it's just waiting. We're waiting on penalty by penalty, set piece by set piece. Chris Smith will line up a second one, 42 meters, so distance won't be an issue. Line-wise, pretty much to the left a little bit, but should be a relatively straightforward kick, and this should be the Bulls reducing the deficit to 3 points. Direction is good, and the Bulls are within 3. So, very tight affair so far at Loftus in the first 25 minutes. Lions still needing 9 points to 6. The Bulls have, however, had the better sort of, better possession and territory in the last few minutes. So, making the opportunities count, to be fair, because neither side have, I don't think, really been in each other's 22. Very much in play in sort of the middle of the park. A couple of scrum penalties, set pieces will be very important throughout the game. And Dwayne threw Mr. Reliability. I don't think I've ever seen him drop a kickoff in my life. So if you have, let me know, because I don't think I've ever seen it. Ambrose up here. Third time's the charm for Tian Swanepoel. No, he spilled that again. Not been good under the high ball at all. It did go backwards though, so the Lions still have the ball. Elton Yankees makes a few meters. Come on, man, do something. Lions into the half, and now the Lions are going to go into the boot. Alton Yankees, that's not, I mean, it's going to take a hell of a chase. This could very well be marked, to be honest. Yeah. Marked there by David Creel. He's had pretty much nothing to do all game. And well, that's not a great kick. It's not bad, actually. I thought it looked like it sliced off the boot initially, but he does find touch within the Lions half. So now the Bulls with a chance to try and string together a few phases and get over the advantage line. Hasn't been brilliant watching, but an interesting contest so far. I wouldn't say we've seen too many big hits or in a particularly expansive game. Lions have looked a bit, not necessarily directionless, but don't quite seem to have much of a game plan right now in terms of having possession. And the Bulls just haven't had possession. When they have kicked it away. So it is a Lions line out inside their own half. Jukskei has a bad habit of throwing it in skew when we're under pressure. So let's hope that he nails this one. They go short again. So we've yet to see any attempts at a more from either side, which is quite interesting actually, because both sides do fancy rolling more, and especially given the scrums have been quite even. I'm surprised they haven't attempted it. But Andrew Warner's going to put this very high. It hasn't gone particularly. It looks like it might even go out. Well, it's a good take by Stichling. He hasn't had much to do, but very good under the high ball. Can't say the same about the Lions so far. And now the Bulls will have a chance to try and run up a few phases. And they've got an advantage, so really can do what they like here. Right, and another penalty. I don't think it'll be in range. We're looking at about 60, probably 62. No, he's going further, so maybe about 60 meters on the angle. But I don't think Chris Smith quite has that in his arsenal, so... Could you, like, decide where the markers? You keep doing it and then you take another 2 steps. Make up your mind here. Okay, going to the line here. So, could we see our first rolling maul of the day? Dum, dum, dum. I mean, Jake White loves a good rolling maul. Can you give links? Unfortunately, for me, it's DSTV. If you don't have DSTV, can't really help you. It's the only way to really watch it at the moment. So, half an hour, on the half an hour mark, we could see our first rolling maul. Lions be guilty of conceding the last 3 penalties, 22nd minute, 25th minute, now in the 29th minute. So, yeah, look, if the Bulls get another penalty here and slot it, then you can say that the momentum, they've gone very deep there. And Sajan now has actually taken that about 40 meters away from the line there. He's knocked on, and he's knocked it on, and Bros Papier's knocked it on. He's not happy about that. I'm not quite sure what he's complaining about. I think it just sort of got caught on a boot there, just trying to take it up the ruck. That's a big let-off for the Lions, because, yeah, I mean, look, it's all Marnus Schoolman, really. He's just creating a lot of havoc at the line out, and, yeah, look, on Bros Papier, you can't really complain. It's a boot. It's not intentional. It is knock on. Oh, now it's actually been a penalty, so it's actually a neck roll on Dwayne Vermeulen. I actually didn't even see that. I was looking at Ambrose Papier there. So, VAR. The assistant referee has jumped in there and said it was a neck roll from Dwayne Vermeulen from the sounds of it, and the Lions actually get a penalty. So that's a bit of discipline costing the Bulls. And the Lions will get away with that. And Tian Swanepoel will try and put this into their half. Let's see the replay here. So Marnus Schoolman over the ball. Dwayne Vermeulen. Yeah, look, it's not great. He has him around the neck, brings him down. It's a right decision in the end. Didn't even notice it in the first glance, but you can see he picks him up in the end and just sort of falls over around him. So it's not great by Dwayne Vermeulen. He's not impressed, but you can't really complain about that one. Refereeing generally hasn't been great in the competition, but that is the right call, I think. Well, in my opinion, anyway. 9 likes. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't. 9 minutes left in the half. Lions back in the Bulls half, and everything had been sort of slightly swaying to the Bulls. Lions conceding a few penalties, so now an opportunity for them to try and turn things back into their favor. And Kortnaskal's son slips a few tackles there. Now Vince Shatuka up in the midfield. He doesn't have too much support, but support will rise eventually. This is better by the line. Some good quick ball from Andre Warner. Dwayne Vermeulen is jumping on lots of balls, but he can't touch. He's losing his shit at the moment. Dwayne is not having a good time. A good read there on Marco van Staden. Dan Creel gets caught on the ball. That looked like a little bit offside. Alton Young decides to put it in behind. A bit of a strange kick that. And it's Ambrose Papier who's picked it up. But he's fallen on the wrong side, actually. So I think this could be a penalty from the Lions if Tit-for-tat can get his hands on that ball. No. The turnover ball. The Bulls have it. Ambrose Appeal will now try and kick it as far as he can. And once again, Tian Swanepoel under the notes, Andre Warner. And the Lions have been absolutely atrocious under the high ball. Goodness me. If I was the Bulls, I would just kick it high every single time. It's not hard. The poor pass there behind, and the Lions have rushed up. They're going to come back for the knock on there. Another scrum, which should favour the Lions at this stage. Although, to be fair, the Bulls did get a scrum penalty earlier. But the Lions just, I mean, Andre Warner does everything. Oh, he's his own bloody player. Well done, Courtnell. Andre Warner eyes on the ball, goes up to try and catch it, gets bumped by Courtnell's Kassan as he does it, and then knocks it on. So now as a result, we've got a defensive scrum. Not gone well, people. Communication. Communication. Not hard. Basics. Right, let's have no resets. What are the chances of us having a scrum one time? Cheer up, Dwayne. Life's not that bad. Bulls captain not happy at the moment. Was guilty of a neck roll a few moments earlier. It was 2 rucks where he was trying to get over the ball and was told to leave it. So a little bit bemused, to say the least, is the Springbok, but probably won't be particularly upset with the outcome at the moment because the Bulls were struggling a bit in the first few minutes, but coming back nicely. And with 7 minutes to go, momentum, I'd say, pretty much in the balance at the moment. Another good scrum by the Lions, although it is a penalty to the Bulls. I'm clueless when it comes to scrum time. I'm not even going to lie. Like, let's be honest. I don't think anybody really knows. I've got a mate who's a referee, and even he says that half the time he kind of just sort of judges it on what he feels. But Johnny du Plessis... No, it's a bit of a weird call. I'm not quite sure. As I say, I'm so clueless when it comes to scrum. So if anybody's a scrum expert, let me know what you think, because even the commentators are saying they're struggling to understand that Yannick du Plessis not going to his knees, but the penalty going towards the Bulls. They will have a shot at goal here, though. So regardless of whether you agree or not, the Bulls could be even with the Lions with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Scrums are just too complicated. It's far too complicated. It's just too much of... I mean, the amount of rules within the scrummaging, I don't even think the refs know what's going on. He's a good player, Chris Smith. I think he probably deserves more chance than he had, but I think he's definitely got the potential to be the long-term successor for Mornestein. And it looks like it is going to dissect the poles. Good kick there. And we are 9-9 with 5 minutes to go. Right, so let's see the replay here. The first replay wasn't very conclusive. Right, so, I mean, it's very difficult to see what's going on in the scrum. The commentators are saying that there shouldn't have been a Bulls scrum. I mean, they looked at penalty du Plessis. It looked more like it was on the other side, but who knows. Lions are 9-9 with the Bulls at the moment. And Ulrich Lowe gets a rare touch of the ball. Good to see him back. Was playing some very good rugby before he got injured. The man from the Eastern Cape. And that's a knock-on. So we have another scrum, which we can try and dissect many times. He only loses his footing and touches the ground, which means penalty to the Bulls. Yeah, look, I mean, it's... I mean, I only saw the replay once, but it was difficult. I couldn't really decide which side of the scrum they were actually penalising, to be honest. So let's see if we can try and see what's going to happen on this one. Right, so Willem Alves was trying to steal the ball there, knocked it on in the process. So now we've got a... I mean, if the Lions can win a penalty here, they're in a very good position. So a big scrum for both sides, really, with 3 minutes to go. I think the Bulls will want to try and get this out quite quickly. But it's a much better scrum by the Bulls. I mean, right, so that is a huge scrum by the Bulls. And that's what they've been waiting for from Trevor Nyakane. He absolutely rinsed Dylan Smith. They got the momentum. There was no advantage for a while. And the ref saying he didn't do anything wrong. And look, to be fair, I mean, I understand he didn't do anything wrong, but you do get the feeling these days that once the scrum moves like 2 or 3 meters, if you're being dominated, you kind of... I mean, you're on the wrong side. It was all Trevor Nyakane. That's a massive scrum by the Bulls. The scrum battle is going to be very interesting. If you're a purist, as they say, you're in for a good afternoon. I mean, that's just a terrific scrum. I mean, the Lions didn't even break away. As I said, to be fair, I can see why there wasn't a penalty advantage. The Lions were holding their shape, but just couldn't deal. Then says, yeah, it's difficult to judge. Yeah, I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. I've given up trying to understand scrums. Oh, that's the last thing we bloody need. Right, well, Dylan Smith has gone off. Hey, Steve's back. My guy, Steve. Well, that's actually a change to the team itself. Actually, I was a bit rushed in trying to get the game going, so I didn't get to see if there were any late changes. But Steve Sitole is on the field in place of Dylan Smith. Such a funny guy. If you follow him on any sort of social media, it's a really good character, Steve Sitole, and he's been playing some very good rugby. So good to see him back. But they definitely wouldn't have wanted to unload him in the 38th minute. So that's not good by Dylan Smith, who injuries continues to be injuries. And here we go. We've got them all, and it has been collapsed illegally. So this will be the Bulls to try and go into the lead before half time. Collapsing more, and this is sort of more where the line, and this is what we expected to see. The Bulls winning a scrum penalty, kicking it downfield, setting up a maul, winning a penalty from the maul. This is Jake White rugby at its best. And with less than a minute to go, Chris Smith should put this over, and that'll give them the lead at half time. Chris Smith has kicked well so far. Right, so it is 40 minutes. So if he nails this, that will be the end of the half itself. No issues there. So the Bulls take a 3-point lead into half time. And a game of 2 halves, really. The Lions started off very well, getting into the Bulls' territory, winning penalties. Tian Swanepoel was kicking well, but the Bulls just hang in there, and the defense was very good. I think that's going to be the difference. The Bulls' defense is a bit more solid, managing to keep the Lions at bay, then getting themselves into good positions, winning some penalties, and we started to see a more characteristic Bulls side by the end, with the physicality of the pack starting to show through, which makes so much. I mean, it is what they'll always be known for. Right, so half time in Loft is a good. I mean, it really is anyone's game at this stage. Lions, obviously, especially as a Lions fan, we need to try and win this game. But the biggest problem is that if you're going to try and keep it tight and try and go into a physical battle, a battle of the forwards with the Bulls, you will lose. You don't out bully the Bulls. I mean, you've got players like Trevor Nyakane, Dwayne Vermeulen, Ruan Nokia, Mark Vinstar, and Albert Lowe. It's a big pack. These are the Walkers, not a small player by any means. So the Lions have done the Lions haven't done the one thing I was hoping to see more, and that's just trying to get the backline going. It's such an inexperienced Bulls backline. You've got to have a go at them and see what you can do. Well, we got our 10 likes. So thank you very much, everybody who is watching. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We will be doing another live watch along this weekend. Probably the game on the Saturday. What's on Saturday? We were going to do the Western Province versus Sharks game, which has been cancelled, so that's not helping anyone. But we will probably do the Griquas versus Cheetahs on Saturday. We might do the Pumas versus Bulls on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see what my work schedule is looking like. And then we will be doing both semi-finals the weekend after, and obviously the final. Maybe try and do a bit of a giveaway for the final. I'll try and see what I can manage from my side. So, yeah, let me know what you would like to see, and if you'd like a giveaway, or if any suggested prizes, or maybe you've got a prize you'd like to donate. You know, we're always open to that kind of thing as well. But it's been a really fun experience doing the watch-alongs and for the entire Currie Cup and for some of the Super Rugby Unlocked. Met some cool people, got some lack of conversations going on in the comments. But we are reaching business end. So one more weekend and then we are into playoff rugby. And that's when and I'll tell you, that's when you can't afford to make any mistakes. And sometimes teams are almost guilty of getting into that sort of playoff mindset and stop and sort of move away from their traditional game. And that's where the Lions, when they were doing well, were so good in the playoffs, and that despite it being the playoffs, they were still happy to throw the ball around and play an exciting brand of rugby. I mean, you think of games against, I think it was the Highlanders, which was quite a high-scoring game in the semi-final Super Rugby last year. So yeah, very stocked up with my water today. I've come prepared for once. Totally says, now the smile's back on my face. Let's go Bulls. Well, for me, it's let's go Lions. So hopefully we can come back a little bit better in the second half. But it's been a good contest so far. And that's what we want, you know. I mean, it's as sometimes I can never decide which is better. And I think this is probably better than seeing a game where it's very one-sided. Even if there are some nice tries being scored and lots of points being scored, a one-sided affair is never particularly interesting to watch. Whereas something which is quite tight and, you know, various different individual battles. We've got the scrum battle, we've got the lineup battle. We haven't seen too much from the lineouts, haven't seen too many rolling mauls just yet. But we did see one from the Bulls and they did win a penalty from it. So expect to see more of that in the second half. Lights are on at Loftus, so it is a bit dark. Has some ominous clouds there. Hopefully the rain stays at bay. The Bulls have a better bench. Oh yeah, much better bench. I mean, the Bulls have got their best players on their bench. You know, well, not necessarily their best players, but I mean, you look at Morne Steyn's going to come on, Ivan van Zyl. I'm a big fan of Tim Magaba, Arno Buerta. A lot of physicality and experience coming off the bench. The Lions bench, look, there's one Nisila Similani, who I think should have probably started, and I'm not quite sure what the thinking was there. I think maybe they were looking, Cornwall Hendricks was never going to be fit. So I can sometimes understand if you want to try and go for a more physical centre pairing, but for me, when you got somebody like Similani who can unlock any defense on this day, I don't understand why you leave him out. And it was the most frustrating thing watching as a Lions fan early on in the year during the Super Rugby when we just weren't playing him. And then when he did get his opportunity, he was playing brilliantly. You know, and we saw his try Terence Wonderful's try a couple of weeks ago against Western Province, against Sharks, which was all Similani. Got to get him in the side, got to get him playing. So, also Ross Corneer instead of Morne van den Berg. Felt a bit sorry for Van den Berg, who's played really well during the Super Rugby Unlocked. And, yeah, it's kind of been phased out with the return of Andre Warner, with the return of Ross Corneer. So, a bit rough on him, I felt. Frankie Horn on the bench as well for the Lions. A nice, exciting youngster. Interested to see how he goes. Now, I'll show you the team, but to be honest, the team we've got is kind of wrong. So maybe let me try and update that, and then we can talk about the team itself. There have been a couple of changes, as there are always at the moment, with so many different factors. Right, so the Lions are the same as they were supposed to be, except no Carlu Sadi. Instead, there is Steve Satole. I don't know what's happening with Carlu Sadi. I don't understand why he's not playing. I mean, for me, he's the best prop at the Union. And I was so excited when we eventually when we got him on that permanent deal with the Western Province, and apparently he's being punished for getting married because he got married, missed a couple of games, and since then he's barely been in the side. And this all looks about correct. No changes on the bench from the Bulls. No. Right. So if we have a look at the two sides. How long is half time? 10 minutes. From what I yeah, it is 10 minutes. So yeah, we're looking at the Bulls side there. So David Creel is probably the most experienced in terms of just been playing the most this season. Jade Stichling, Marnus Portkita, Jason Null, Shavino Jacobs, Chris Smith been playing quite well. Ambrose Papier. I'm a big Ambrose Papier fan. I'd love to see him at the Lions, to be honest. Or I suppose we've got to come off, but I think he needs to play more games than he does. Dwayne Vermeulen, Ulrich Lowe, Marco Verstappen, they've been quite quiet. Haven't had much to do on the attack. Ruben Nokia, Jan Ace. And then the front row of Trevor Nikani, Skalki Rasmus, and Lizo Goboka. And then on the bench, so this is usually come on probably in the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes. You've got Johan Grobelaar, who often starts, Jacques van Rooyen, Marcel van der Merwe. So, I mean, so much experience coming there. Then Janko Swanepoel, Arno Boerta, Tim Mugabe, Ivan van Zyl, and Morne Steyn. Experience, experience, experience. That's what's coming off the bench for the Lions and for the Bulls. The Lions, not so much in terms of a lot of experience coming onto the field. There is some. But if we're looking at the Lions side, it's a pretty settled side these days, to be honest, especially with the bench. But starting, we've got Tian Swanepoel. He's been pretty poor under the high ball. Kicked well so far, so a bit of a iffy game for him. Ian Pienaar only had one or two things to do. Burgo and Dal, Dan Creel, he looked a bit unimaginative. They've slipped some tackles, but I think could use something to really get them going. Cordnos Kasan, Alton Yankees also been very quiet. Andre Warner's played all right, had some good moments, bad moments. Len Massane, Vince Tuka, Mana Skuman. Skuman, probably want to try and get him into the game a little bit more, especially at the breakdown, which is where he is so useful. Marvin Uri, Willem Alberts, and that combination, 92%, Jakub Asaki, and Steve Sitoli has in fact already replaced Dylan Smith there. And in the bench, we've got Jan Henning Kamfer, Ruan Dreher, Dylan Smith now because Dylan Sitoli is on. Reynard Northnagel, Willem van der Sluys, Ross Crinier, Wandesida Similane, and then Frankie Horn. So we've got Jan Peters who says Bulls all the way. I think I'm definitely in the minority in terms of supporting the Lions, but it's fine. It's fine. It's only been my entire life, so we'll accept that. And everybody's saying, do you have a stream to watch this match? I come from France. I don't, unfortunately. I have no idea how to watch it from France. So sorry about that. If anybody else is watching from France and knows how to watch it, give Isak a shout. See if we can find some stats at half time. I think the possession will probably be a lot kinder thanks to the last sort of 50 minutes than it would have been, because at one stage it was 73% to the Lions. I'm sure that's probably evened out quite a lot since. Remembering this is a round 5 clash, so it was supposed to be played quite a while ago. I think it was about the 27th of December it was supposed to be played, but was postponed. And I'm glad it was postponed as opposed to just cancelled, because we've seen so many games which have been cancelled as a result. So it was nice to see that this game they took a bit of initiative, found a day, and did replay it, because it wouldn't have helped the Lions at all if this game was a draw. If we look at the log itself, let me pull up a log that we did at the beginning of the week. Let me try and resize that a bit. Oh, that looks horrendous. Sorry, that's better. So, the log as it stands, this is before the game, this right now is the Bulls 35, Western Province 35. They've actually gone up to 37, and the Sharks go up to 35 with their game being cancelled this weekend. So the Lions on 33 have a chance to try and move themselves back up to sort of, well, if they win this game, then they'll go to 37. They do have a better points difference than the Western Province just. And if they get a bonus point win, then they'll go outright. They'll go on to 38 points, so no issues there. So Lions playing to win the right to a home semi-final. Whereas the Bulls, if they lose this, can still win the game this weekend against the Pumas. So the Bulls, probably less of a must-win, really. But, you know, there's incentive for both sides. The Bulls win this game. It means they can also rotate this weekend. Rest the likes of Dwayne Vermeulen. Sometimes Trevor Newcastle can get a rest. How long in the game is it now? Well, the teams have just come back for half-time. After half-time, rather. So we'll get the timer going right now. So it's 12-9 to the Bulls. A big half ahead. The Lions, the last game for the Lions in the group stages. The Bulls obviously still in this action this weekend. So let's make sure we get our timing right. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the second half. I'm still going to back the Lions by 10. I think hopefully we could try and run a few tries. I do think that the Bulls have got a lot of experience coming off the bench, which might kill it off a little bit. But let's jump in the comments right now. Let me know what your final score is going to be. Bulls are now playing right to left as Chris Smith gets us back underway. Why is my timer not started? Right, so Huntley has said Lions 25, Bulls 20. I'll take that. I'll take that. Or for that. Right, so the Lions managed to collect the restart quite well, but they kicked possession away. And now the Bulls are inside the Lions' half. So now chance the Lions defense to really front up and show everyone what they're made of. I don't have a stream for the game, unfortunately. I can't show it here because it is against copyright. So unfortunately, I don't have a stream. I'm watching on SuperSport, which is the best way to watch it in South Africa. If you're overseas, I've got no idea. Decent defense by the Lions, who've driven the Bulls back to within their own half. Now, remain disciplined. Remain disciplined. I hate it when you've got a bit of momentum and you're driving a team back, but then you're just too over-eager and you can see the penalty. So now they're going to have to kick because there's some good defense. Under the high ball. Well, it's not Tian Swanepoel, so we've got no mistakes there. He does kick it along the ground. It's a bit of a weird kick, to be honest. It's not great. And Smith will have much more time and he'll find touch, I'm sure. He hasn't found touch. Xander says, I want the Lions to win. Me too, mate. Me too. Chris Smith, on the second attempt, can he find touch? Right, well, we've got a bit of a ping pong match at the moment, so we'll let you know when anything actually bloody happens. Okay, well, you're out of the 22 now, so you can't... Tian Swanepoel, what are you doing? He leaves the safety of the 22 and kicks it out. You... Ah! Did you not see where the line is? It's painted white. I'll tell you, he's kicked well today, but unfortunately, that's about the only thing he's done well today. And now, all of a sudden, the Bulls have got a line out on the 22. Not your best moment, Tian Swanepoel. Been playing very well lately, but that was not your best moment. Right, so we got up to 10 likes by the end of the first half. Let's see if we can try and get to 30 maybe by the end of the second half. So please do smash a like on the bottom there if you haven't already. Bulls an attacking line out here on the 22. It's a very good early push from the Lions, and I think the Bulls have been told to use it. But they have sort of broken away a little bit, and Lions need to regroup here. They've remade up all the yardage that they lost. And now there's an advantage for Yanni. He's number 3. Yanni Duplessis doesn't give away penalties. Come on. Which Duplessis have you been watching? Yep, Yanni Duplessis not... He had a good start, but he struggled since then. Right, so 3, Yanni Duplessis, and 6, Marnus Skuman. Yeah, they are very often involved in penalties, so that doesn't surprise me at all, unfortunately. And the Bulls have turned down points. They're going to go for the line here. They're backing themselves, which is interesting because, I mean, yeah, they obviously won a penalty there. But I wouldn't say it was a massively dominant line out. They broke away nicely, but the initial shove from the Lions was very good. Discipline, discipline, discipline. And it always comes down to discipline. This is a big call by the Bulls. A try here, and suddenly they can open up a 10-point lead. So one can understand wanting a 10-point lead, but should you be turning down points, especially when the Lions... Oh, you idiot, you dropped it! Oh, come on. Len was saying gets in front, gets a hand to it, and then drops it. So it will be a Bulls scrum. So maybe, hopefully, the Lions can still try and win a penalty here. Did well to get up, and then couldn't hold on to it. I don't think we're going to see much more of Yanni du Plessis. Looks very tired. Not as young as he used to be. Usually sort of makes to about the 50, 60-minute mark. And I think we will see Ruan Dre come on. He's got plenty of experience. Also loves to give away a penalty, unfortunately. But very nice to have him back at the Union. I just don't understand where Carly Sardi is. And I would love to see Asinate and Klabakanya get it well. But, hey, so an early first scrum of the second half, 5 minutes in. A huge opportunity. I mean, it's on the 5-meter line, so it's a big attacking scrum for the Bulls. So the Lions will need a penalty here. Need a penalty here. Oh dear. Okay, well, no penalty there, and Ambrose Papier has... come on! How? He's the smallest person on the field. Dan Creel, you're like 3 times his size. How does he get past you? How does he score that try? Oh, come on. We've avoided getting a penalty. I mean, yeah, he's going nowhere. The scrum was down. Andrew Warner tackles him. And Dan Creel runs into Ambrose Papier. Runs in too high. And he manages to leg drive it over. It's Ambrose Papier. I mean, it's a great run by the scrum off. But come now. I mean, simple maths here. How does somebody that size manage to power over you? Right, so the Bulls strike. I suppose I need to update the scoreboard. Bulls move to 17. That's a big blow for the Lions. Right, so Chris Smith here to try and add the extras. Just by the way, in case anybody wondered, Dan Creel's got 23 kgs on Ambrose Papier. Right, so the Bulls go up to 19 with that kick. So 10 points ahead. The worst possible start for the Lions. They need to try and strike back here. It's just too... No, I mean, he didn't need to. I mean, he had so much time. A nice low tackle would have been perfect. Went too high. Ambrose Papier, look, credit to him. Very nice leg drive. He gets over eventually. But not the finest hour for the Lions. Right, so now the subs come on for the Bulls. We've got Ruan Nokia off. Swanepoel is on. Oh, and the Lions are turning this... No, man, come on. Okay, so penalty for the Bulls against the Lions after the restart. I'm not quite sure for what. Vince Chatuka suddenly popped up with the ball. Looked to be good to be true, and it was. So the Lions discipline costing them at the moment, and the Bulls will kick up to within the Lions half. Everything Bulls at the moment. Even the 10 minutes before half time, and since then. Right, so yeah, Vince Chatuka is penalised for hands in the ruck. And the Bulls now with the line. This is I mean, it's a bit of a wave at the moment. The Lions can't get back into the game. And they've gone short, so no running more anything there. They've got half their pack line in the midfield. Markov and Starden runs it up. That's charged down by Smith. Hey, Steve with the hands, my boy. Now the Lions have got the ball on the halfway line. And again, and again. You need to create an overlap here, people. No, man. He's not... You can't run into Dwayne Vermeulen and expect not to lose the ball. He's freaking Dwayne Vermeulen. Not going well here, people. If you're a Lions fan, it's all going well. Look, if you're a Bulls fan, it's all going right at the moment. But that is Dwayne Vermeulen. Marvin Orie, could you just run into anyone else? Literally anyone else. To be honest, I'd even take him ahead of Blooming Markup and Staden. He's been quiet today, Dwayne, but that is what he does best. And the Lions just can't get into the game at the moment. That's a great kick by Chris Smith. You've got to be better at the Lions. You've got play. I mean, look at that. That's the last 6 penalties have been from the Lions. In fact, the last 9 out of 10 penalties have been the Lions. Discipline, people. You can't win games. You're going to give away 10 penalties in 20 minutes. The penalty every 2 minutes, for goodness sake. Yeah. Get him on the field. Wandisile Semilani is on in place of Dan Creel, who, yeah, unfortunately was very average today. Had better games, has Dan Creel. Look, too fair, didn't have much. Oh, yeah, in fact, he did have an opportunity to run with the ball. Sometimes I just find he's a bit one-dimensional, and I know he's very big. I mean, you're looking at somebody who's 103 kgs. Why wouldn't he just run it up? But yeah, I think that is where Similani brings in something different. You got Berger Undal, you can run quite direct inside him. And then the creativity I want to see the Similani. As the Bulls win that, Marco Verstappen pops out the back. He shrugs off Mana Skuman like he's a bloody... I mean, really, people? There's an overlap. Well done, Jakob Asaki. Bulls on the attack here. Lions Porter from Cape Town, come on Lions. Agreed, Johan, agreed. Right now, we're not doing much right, to be honest. And we've conceded another penalty. And then Bruce Pierre's gone early. Anybody else want to tackle him? Oh, look, we can tackle him. And we've got launched to not being 10. Oh, man, this is just falling apart here. Right, well, Bulls fans, celebrate now because at the moment the Lions just haven't pitched up for the second half, and it looks like the Bulls are camped out a few meters away from the line. Penalty advantage for not being 10. That makes it 11 penalties, I think, the Lions have given away in the last 20 minutes since 32 or something like that, or 22. And they are over the reps on the ground, but no try. Quite impressive how quickly he got down there, actually. He's not going to TMO. Clear grounding, apparently. Well, no clear grounding, apparently. So we'll go back for the scrum. So we've got time off here. So 11 penalties conceded by the Lions since the 22nd minute. This is not going well, people. Well, if you're a Lions fan anyway. If you're a Bulls fan, you're smiling because it is all momentum Bulls at the moment. Now having a bit of discussion what to do. Dwayne, you're the captain, mate. They all don't know what to do. You need to make a call here. Yeah, they're going to go for the line. Yep, Bulls smell blood. There's blood on the water. Oh, they're going for the quick tap. Well, that's a great tackle. Bulls were trying to sort of create a bit of a maul there from the tap. I don't know who that was. A huge hit. Probably Willem. Good old Willem. All right, come now. The Lions need to defend this here. The Bulls are on the 5 meter. Big chance now for the Lions to prove themselves. Yeah, you're too right. You're going to concede 11 penalties in what, 30 minutes. You're not going to win too many games. There's better defense by the Lions. Bulls struggling to get a bit of momentum. And that is brilliant. Who is that? Who gets out with the ball? Marvin Orie, you biscuit. I think it's Marvin Orie. I don't know. But, I mean, look, the Bulls weren't getting much momentum there. Sort of kept picking up and driving. And eventually somebody managed to get over the ball. And Elton Yankees has wasted no time. He's kicking that as far as he can. Who's over this ball? Vincent Tuka, my guy Vincent over the ball, wins the penalty. Thank you very much. Now let's go and score a try ourselves. Right, we're heading to 52 minutes here. I don't think it will be long. No, this is Marvin Orie, who is down. So it looks like we could see Reinhard North-Nark will come onto the field. It doesn't look happy at all. Doing a couple of tests, but he is grimacing quite a lot. Please do smash a like. We've got a time off here. Let me time that off. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe if you are new. We're trying to hit, what are we trying to hit? Trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month. So please do subscribe if you are new. And the Lions agree, we won that. And Burger Undal marauds through the midfield. Now this is better. Some quick ball. I want to see the Similani's on the ball now. Some good hands. Go court now. Come on, court now. You need support. Where's the support? No, you idiots. Oh, he's lost the ball. Yeah, there's no support. The ball pops out of the back. Corner Skosai managed to get within the 22 meters, but just there's nobody around him and the ball popped out. The Bulls have done very well to snatch that up. And now Rose Papier will have a lot of time to try and kick this out. He's kicked well today, hasn't Rose Papier, to give him his credit. To be fair, I love him. I think he's a very good player. I think before Ivan van Zyl started playing like he has this season, he just drops the ball as he's trying to place it for his team, and then looks like Swanepoel, the replacement, who jumped on that quite quickly. In fact, I couldn't really see the number there. Right, so Lions will try again from the line out, about the halfway line. Nice bit of hands there. Oh, Runokia is back on the field, so I think I did see a bit of blood with him earlier, so it looks like it was a bit of a blood substitute or concussion substitute, not sure which. Now the Lions are going to line it on the 22, and they're going to try and set up a maul. Yeah, they've got a bit of momentum. Come on. And they've broken off. And they've got an advantage. Come on. Now give it to the back line. Give it. That's it. That's it. That's a great read by Seatling. That is a fantastic read. Or was it Jacob? So you know Jacob. And that's a terrible pass. Right, back to the penalty we go. Okay, the penalty is against Lizot Ngoboka for lifting the legs in the line-out, or in the maul. I'm sure after that, some decent momentum there. I'm sure the Lions will kick to the corner and try that again. Right, so Ross Kinnear is on in place for Andrew Warner. A bit of experience there in trying to sort of see out what could be quite a tight game towards the end. So it looks like Lizot Ngoboka's return is come to an end. Jacques van Nooyen from the Suns are coming on for the Bulls. And Ruan Dreyer coming on for Yanni du Plessis. So the bench is starting to come on. Now, in theory, probably more experience on the bench as a whole from the Bulls. Although, having said that, I mean, there's Ross Kinnear. I mean, Ruan Dreyer brings a lot of experience. But yeah, I mean, they're probably more experience in the Bulls bench. Got the likes of Arne Boerta coming on. Mugabe, Morne Stain. Mugabe's been around. Hopefully he gets a bit of decent run. He had a bit of a strange career up today. That's not great. Well, not sure where the ball is. Looks like the Bulls have come through the middle and this will be turned over. I have no doubt. Oh, there's a penalty. Advantage, never mind. Thank you. We can try again. Right, collapsing the wall and the Lions will reset this up. It looks like Jacques van Nooyen up against his old side. Look, Johan, this isn't, I wouldn't say this is commentary. We are a fan channel. That's what we are. We're for the fans, by the fans. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be openly biased, but I am a Lions supporter. So, I'm always going to support the Lions. This is a fans channel. So, that's what we do here. We're not going to try and sit here and provide the most neutral commentary. We've all got our sides. We've all got our preferences. So if you want neutrality, then watch a game without the Lions. But as I said, I'm a Lions supporter, so that's what I want to win. That's what we are, a fan channel. I'm not going to try and pretend I'm not, to be honest. Not quite what the channel's about. Right, so a penalty there for the Bulls. Alton Yankees wasn't particularly happy. It wasn't called from Marius van der Westhuizen, so it was from up the top there. Right, so a big opportunity missed for the Lions there, who, yeah, really need to try and strike back. I mean, we move into about 20 minutes, almost halfway through the second half, and yeah, I think the Lions have struggled so far. I mean, it's all been Bulls really, and the Lions finally managed to get themselves into a decent position. Oh, that's just basic for Vince Tuka. So, right, the Bulls emptying their bench. That's Tim Agaba on. That is Great Vermeulen off. You've got Arno Buerta on. And we've got Swanepoel back on. This time plays for Ace. So Nokia will play the full 80 minutes. A bit of a quiet game from Dwayne. Had some decisive moments, but not much from the Springmont number 8. Right, so the Bulls on the halfway line. But it's been turned over from the Lions, and Ruan Dre carries it up. And penalty, right, decision time here. It's very kickable. Given the fact that the Lions have struggled in the last few lineouts, I would be very tempted to kick this to poles. Yeah, and they've decided that's what they're going to do. Charles Swanepoel's been handed the ball, and he's going to have a shot at goal. Please do smash the like button as well. We're trying to hit 30 likes by the end of the game, so 20 minutes left. So if you haven't already, please do smash a like. Let me know where you're watching from, who you're backing. You only have to watch for a few minutes to know that I'm backing the Lions. Lions supporter from when I was as little as they come. So there's a big opportunity here because a win today means a home semi-final, which is a big... Both these sides looking for home semi-finals. And look, home advantage, there is definitely a home advantage. Despite there being no crowds, playing at altitude versus playing at sea level is very, very different. Great kick there from the Swanepoel, and that first point on the board from the second half from the Lions. 19-12. 20 minutes to go. Everything to play for the Lions. For the Bulls, this is a win today, puts them at the top of the log, and they can put out whatever side they want this weekend against the Pumas because they've already guaranteed themselves a home semi and a home final. But in terms of the competition, it'll be nice to the Lions. I mean, I speak under bias, but if the Lions can win this, it'll be nice just to sort of keep reinforcing the fact that the Bulls can be beaten and try and blow up the sort of competition so that when we go into the playoffs, we still don't know. I mean, the Bulls are the clear favorites. There's no doubt about that. But look, you know, COVID-19 situation means that some players might miss out, and that does even the odds a bit. I mean, it's not the circumstances you'd like in terms of evening the odds, but yeah. So, Jonathan also goes Bulls from Cape Town. Knock on from Tim Agaba from up and under there. Lions have got the ball back, however, and now they're going to try and spread it. I mean, what have you done, Lions? So I can't. Looks like Stian Pienaar slipped whilst trying to make. I don't know quite where he was trying to. No, not Stian Pienaar. I think it was Stian Swanepoel, who tried to sort of kick it low and kicked it to the middle of nowhere and almost gave the Bulls a chance back. A Burger Odendaal. And he slipped and he's not happy. Well, next time keep it in hand. That's not great. As he went to the kick, his ankle just landed on its side. Doesn't look for pretty watching. Thankfully, he's okay, but that didn't look particularly good. And the Bulls now have a line out on the Lions' 10-meter line. I mean, why are we stopping the time now? And that has been won by the Lions, actually. It's a short time. For what? That's bloody rudimentary. Numbers in the line out, short arm penalty to the Bulls, and the Lions just can't get into this game. They're not happy about that at all. They said at the beginning quite clearly there was a 5-man, and the Lions are not happy with that call. Alton Yankee's having a lot to say. Bulls going for the scrum here, backing their new front row against the new Lions front row. We've got Tit-for-tat and Ruan Drea on, and they'll have a time against Marcel van der Merwe and Jacques van Rooyen. So 4 new props. So this should be a very interesting contest, actually. Another Bull supporter, this time from Blom. It's gone straight down. You can have a reset here. Right, for 7 points deficit. So if the, I mean, like a draw doesn't do anything for anyone. Well, it gives the Bulls the top of the lot. No, in fact, it doesn't actually. So a draw doesn't do anything for anyone. So we need to try and get a result here. Jacques van Rooyen against his old scrum mate. He had plenty of scrum next to Ruan Drea, but now he's opposite them. So let's see how the mates get along. Better hit there. And the Lion, oh, that's come straight through. Yeah, so no penalty there. It looked like on the, and now? Well, it's a big, that's a big letter for the Lions. Looks like the Bulls have been offside. There's a big scrum there. It looked like Marcel van der Merwe had the number on Tit-for-tat, but to be fair, it did look like Ruan Drea had the number on Jacques van Rooyen. So looks like the scrum could be quite even, because I think on either side there's a bit of a Right, well, the Lions are going for pole here. Tian Swanepoel saying 55 meter, well within my range. Hand me the ball, Skip. I've got this. Yeah, so that's on JC Null for breaking the 5 meter, coming in early before the ball was out. So not the best penalty to give away, especially if Tian Swanepoel does slot this and put the Lions right back into it. Because if the Lions can get this penalty, it suddenly means that they are 1 try away from taking the lead. He's kicked well today, 57 meters on the angle, as Tian Swanepoel. A big moment in the game. Well, the distance is fine. I mean, jeepers, that wasn't been about a 70-meter kick. That was huge. Right, well, I think that. I mean, must have been 60 plus. So anything within this the 10-meter line, I would go for poles. Having, as I said earlier, having that is a very big boost. Right, so the Lions, 19-15, last 14 minutes. They need a try to win and seal second place. But we're going to see some replacements, I'm sure, in the back line. Ah, Courtney scores some. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. That is my pet hate. When you've gone and scored some points and straight through the breadbasket. Courtney scores and knocked it on. Now the Bulls will have a scrum well within the Lions' half. Oh, no. That's just it is the worst. That is the worst thing to do. You've gone and scored points. You're on the front foot. It's looking good. You're back in the game. Momentum might be shifting towards you, and then you drop the ball on the restart. catching and receiving in the restart and clearing and getting your exit plan sorted is so important. And the Lions have gotten it very wrong, and suddenly the Bulls can have an attacking scrum here. And if the Bulls score, then suddenly it's very late for the Lions. Look, as it stands, if the Lions lose this game, then they will be facing the Bulls in the semi-final. So if the Lions don't want to play the Bulls again, then they need to win. I mean, it's a huge difference. You're either playing Bulls at Loftus, or if you win, you're playing Sharks at Ellis Park, where you've already beaten the Sharks. And then if the Western Province, if the Western Province is something against the Bulls, suddenly you've got a home final. So much on the line here for the Lions. Right, big scrum here. Lots of pressure on the scrums here. Can the Lions win a scrum penalty? Can the Bulls win a scrum penalty and put themselves back on the time left? Well, there's 12 minutes left on the clock. Come, big scrum here, Lions, big scrum. I think they're just wasting time here. Right, so 11 minutes to go. Lions need a try to try and get second place. It's a solid scrum. Now the Bulls... Yeah, I was about to say, the knee was down on the ground from Jacques van Rooyen, and that's a penalty to the Lions. Huge moment in the game that could be. No, I didn't want to say anything because you've been getting the scrums wrong all blooming game, and because we just don't know what's going on when it comes to scrum time. But it did look like Jacques van Rooyen was on the ground there. And Alton Jantjies is asking Chance van der Poel to try and find as much territory as they can, get into the Bulls' half, score a try, take second place, and we move. Right, 6 likes away from hitting that 30 before the end of the game. Please do smash a like if you're new. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to try and hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month. Thank you everyone who has subscribed. Like the video, jumped in the comments. It's been a really cool watch along today. Once again, so thank you everybody who has been supporting. 10 minutes to go. Still, the game is in the balance, so it could go either way. Right, so line on the halfway line. Jan Henning Kamper comes on, and the first thing he has to do is put the line in straight. Which cities are teams from? So the Lions are from Johannesburg, the Bulls are from Pretoria. The Jukskei Derby, as it's known. The Lions win that line out. And Rui Andrea puts his head down. He tries to drive through. Doesn't get too much go forward ball there. It's a bit of a hospital pass to that. Looks like Reina Northnacher who's on the field. Sorry, from the Slayers. And Alton Jantjies has knocked it backwards. Thankfully. Clean up. Help. Can't afford to lose that. Xander says, my prediction is Bulls 19, Lions 22. I hope so. Lions looking a little bit out of ideas at the moment. And still looking very out of there. The Bulls' rush defense is killing the Lions. Yeah, there's just no creativity at the moment. We need to reset you. Right, and now we're going to the boot. So we're going up. Where's the chase? You need a good chase. It was a good chase from Len Massane. Drag him out. Yeah, well done. Why would you do that? Stop doing stupid things. Take the line quickly, and now we're back in our own half. And now we're going to have to kick it because we've got no other options. Good kick. Right, well, that's not the worst end result, to be fair. Similarly, realizing there's nothing on, hacks through a kick, and that goes out within the 22. So now the Bulls have a defensive line out. Right, Kevin Stradham saying Bulls 26, Lions 18. That's a lot that's going to happen. The Bulls apparently scoring a try and the Lions getting a penalty. Whereas Jonathan Pienaar reckons that this is the final score. Well, we've got 8 minutes to go. Grobbelaar is on for Erasmus. And once again, another hooker on. The first thing he'll have to do is put in a... Well, this is a bit more of a pressure liner than Jan Henning Kamper had. Need a penalty liner, ruck over try line, and that's what Lions need. I agree, Arno, I agree. Well, he finds his man. And they're going to try and work themselves a bigger angle. Jacques van Rooyen gets through the first tackler. They're outside the 22 though, so that's probably stepped up a bit. And up and under there from Ivan van Zyl, and it falls back to the Bulls. So that's not what the Lions needed at all. But now Chris Smith will kick ahead, and that will need a good chase if he's a bit on pressure. Good take from Stian Pienaar. He managed to evade the first tackler. You need some support. And it arrives eventually. So the Lions up to the halfway line. Here also says, come on Lions. I agree. Ref, get out of the way. Milani doing well to get himself some meters. Always managed to find some meters. Such a slippery character. Just composure. That's what the Lions need right now. Composure. There's still time. There's no need to rush it. Just run the phases. Win a penalty. Go Courtnall. Where's the support? There it is. Coming. Lines up to the 10-meter line. Making progress slowly but surely. Jacques Erasmus says Bulls 22, Lions 15. There's a bit of an overlap here. Milani kicks it ahead, puts it on the grabber. That'll set up nicely. Goes just too far. Nice idea. For 22. More patience needed by the Lions. They were getting go forward ball. I'm not sure it was the right option there from Similani. It almost, if it held up, it would have been fine, but it did go too far. And the Bulls will now have a 22. Boys need to come together. I agree. Come, boys. Time off. We're a little bit behind the official clock, so let's update that now. We've lost a boot as Markov and Staden. Right, so 5 minutes to go. Bulls 22 dropout. I'm sure they'll lump this as far as they can down the field. And the Lions will have to try and restart. So I'm not sure that was the right decision from Similani to kick that ahead. You know, it was slow, but they were making progress. And, you know, if you keep running your phases, there's all chances that you can try and win a penalty. And then you can just go to the corner and, yeah, from there, just try and win another penalty. Try and get them all going. Try and find some ways to find points. Yep, and they find touch within the Bulls' half. Burger Udendal gets up to halfway, and the Lions pretty much back to where they were. Now Elton Yankees dabs at their head. And that is a Bulls line out. Stop kicking the ball away. You can't win if you just kick the ball away. We need possession, people. Lions getting desperate. It's going to cost the game. Yo, it's just no patience at the moment. You've got to be patient here. We've been in situations here before. Back yourselves. Stay in the game. Just keep possession. Keep the ball in hand. Something will happen. It's been such an even game. I mean, there we go. 40 possession, 52% Lions, 48% Bulls. Right, running a more, trying to find a penalty here are the Bulls. And the Lions oblige. Just too easy. Just too easy for the Bulls. And I think that could pretty much be the game. With 5 minutes to go. But it was too easy. The Bulls setting up the maul. And the Lions were just, I mean, you can't match it. Mornestein is on, so he'll kick to touch as his first contribution. And Bulls find touch about 10 meters shy of the 22. So well into Lions territory. And I think the Lions' chance for the win might have gone. So they, at this stage, will have to travel to Newlands to play the Western Province if the score stands like this. as I think it was Jonathan Pienaar said that he reckons this was the final score. So if the final score stands, the Lions will travel down to Newlands to play against the Western Province. If the Lions can find a win, then they will host the Sharks at Ellis Park, and the Bulls will host the Western Province. But it's been a long line out there from the Bulls, and they've got a lot of momentum here. So this is either going to keep you go all the way, or there will be a penalty, I'm sure. Yeah, there's the penalty. There's the arm. They'll kick this over. Assuming they don't find a try here. Bulls the advantage, and they'll be knock on, so they'll take the advantage. And I'm sure they'll put this over and put the game to bed. 22-15. Well, I mean, you need more than a try to win it. And at this stage, a draw does not help anyone, particularly the Lions. So at the very least, if the Lions can't win, please do smash a like so we can get to 30 likes. And subscribe if you're new. That's a lot can happen in 5 minutes. Yeah, look, it can. I'm not sure about 2 tries, especially when we've got someone in the freaking sin bin. That's harsh, isn't it? I mean, you're saying it's cynical. Bringing them, collapsing them more on the 22. I mean, I'm not sure it's that cynical. I also don't think he ever said 17 release. Look, I could be wrong, but if he didn't, I think it's pretty poor officiating. But yeah, not gone well for the Lions. Mornestein will line this up, and I have no doubt that he will slot this relatively easy. Yep, this isn't the Sharks. Mornestein slots that, and the Lions will have to score pretty much from the restart if they are to have any hopes of Right, so we've got a yellow card for the Lions. They're down to 14, chasing the game with 2.5 minutes to go. So they try and go short, and they win it, to be fair to them. They have to score. They have to score and convert within 3 minutes. So they can have another chance. There's a massive overlap. Go, go, go! That's forward. That's also not good. Oh, goodness. I think that sums it up, to be honest. Who would you rather play against in the quarterfinal? As a Lions fan, I'd rather play the Sharks, to be honest. I'll take the Sharks at home. We've done it before. We did it 2 weeks ago. We completely outclassed them. Western Province have been getting better, and they were playing at Newlands. Look, to be fair, I think with the Western Province and the Sharks, it is a case of which side pitches up on the day. They both can be very good sides. They can also be guilty of being very average at times. So, yeah, now Yanni Dupsy back on the field because Ruan Dre is in the sin bin, so we need a specialist prop. So Frankie Horn, unfortunately, doesn't get much of a chance today because he'll be off for the rest of the game. But yeah, we're just over a minute to go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Berger wouldn't have forward pass. That kind of sums up the Lions, really, where they had their chances. A lot of TMO work. Marius van der Best hasn't been very busy tonight. Well, today rather. I suppose it's all right. You know, it hasn't really disrupted the game. It has been sort of intervening, saying that the problem is, I'll tell you what the problem is when the TMO gets involved with decisions like this, where he's saying it was actually a forward pass, is that there'll be situations where he wouldn't get involved, and then it becomes a bit tricky, you know. So I'm all for using technology, but it has to be consistent. So if he's not getting involved as much in other situations as he does, you know, then it becomes tricky. So there's the log as it stands. Bulls 39 first, Western Province second, 37, Sharks 35 third, Lions 34 fourth. So the Lions at this stage, well, that's looking very unlikely it'll change. But Lions at this stage will travel to play against the Western Province next weekend, whereas the Bulls will host the Sharks. Great piece of work there by Jukskei. Guys, if you realize, we actually don't have the time for this. Okay, well, guys, you're either going to take it quickly and try and run in a try in 40 seconds, or you resign to drawing the game. So... Right, so the Lions have kicked to the corner and we'll try and get a late penalty. Well, I mean a late try and get a bonus point. The 80 minutes is up, so Lions cannot win this game. The best they can do is try and draw it. Which I'm going completely wrong. A draw takes them level with the Sharks. And with a better points difference, I completely stuffed that one up. I completely didn't even register that. The draw is 2 points, so they'll go level with the Sharks, and we'll have a home semi-final. No, they won't. They'll go third, and they'll play against the Western Province. Oh, hang on. I've got this all wrong here. Where's my log? Right, so at the moment, Western Province, so the Lions with a draw will go up to third, which means they'll play Western Province. Yeah, that's right. They'll play the Western Province, and if they lose, then they'll play against the Bulls back in Pretoria. So scratch everything I said before. I had to double check my log. But that is the situation. So a draw means the Lions will finish third on points difference. That's a great maul. This looks like it will be... The back line's coming in. Yeah, it's Kalas has a penalty advantage. Can they get the ball out? Yeah, I'm about to say, I want to see a yellow card now. You carded us, and I card them. Yeah, there's the yellow card. Right, marker for starting in the bin for collapsing the maul. And now the Lions will have another go. Can they get a draw? Can they finish third? Can they go to Newlands and play the West Province as opposed to playing the Bulls? Yeah, I was having a look at a whole different log. So my apologies there. Because at the moment, you look at the points difference and the Lions do have a better points difference. So you can see there the points difference, the Lions 61 points. This is before. So obviously at the moment, Western Province have gone to 37 points. The Sharks have gone to 35 points. Their points difference hasn't changed. So the Lions draw this, they'll go into 35 points with a better points difference, which means they'll go third and play the Western Province at Newlands, whereas the Bulls will then play against the Sharks. So that's what this maul right at the end is defining. A trip back to Newlands in a week's time. And they've dropped it. It's a penalty. Send somebody else off. Come on. Yes. Okay, so yeah, bring up the log again. Yeah, sorry, so I got it completely wrong earlier. I'm having a mare here. So there's the log. Western Province will move on to 37 points. Sharks move on to 35. So a draw here means the Lions will finish third, and they'll play second place Western Province, and Bulls will take on the Sharks. Apologies, as I said, I've gotten it completely wrong. There's absolutely nowhere with the log. For some reason, I thought that we weren't currently tied on the Sharks. So it's why I was saying earlier that a draw means nothing. But a draw means quite a lot, actually. But not if you do that, you blithering idiots. So after all that, I sit there, finally figure it out, and now you go and drop the ball over the top of the lineout. The Bulls put it out. That is full time. And the Lions, right, so this is how it's going to end now. The Lions will be back in a week's time. They will finish fourth and take on Bulls, who will finish first on the log. And then Western Province will take on the Sharks at Newlands next weekend. That is the final semi-finals matchup. So yeah, well, thank you very much for watching. Please do smash like on the video as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We want to try and hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month. We will be doing a quick review of this shortly after, so make sure you keep it tuned on Fair Sports. That'll be up in the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you hopefully this weekend for another watch along. If not, we'll be back next weekend for both Super Rugby semi-final, Super Rugby Currie Cup semi-finals. It's all been one big long competition, but we are finally towards the business end. That's how it ends. Bulls 22, Lions